But here's the difference. For the very first time in the history of finance, we, you, me, and everybody on this call can get in before the big institutions come in. We can actually get in before Wall Street. And this has never happened before, because normally Wall Street gets in first, right? They take a big chunk out, they chuck us a couple of bones, and give us a quick slap around the face. That's basically it. We get the dregs, right? For the very first time, we are able to get in before them. Why? For one reason, and that is called...
Guys, if you're from the Real Life Tribe, this is not to be missed, so make sure that you are tagging as many people as possible. And even if you're not in the Real Life Tribe, or people who are not, so people in the tribe who are not, you have friends who are not, get them on here as well. Give them the opportunity to at least see it for themselves, so they can then decide, is something to do with the up and coming market collapse of 2020 something I want to have my eyes on, something I want to have my ears on and my attention on. So start tagging people. I want to see who can tag the most people, so we can get some serious activity going on here. So I have an absolutely amazing guest I want to bring on in a moment. Now, either two things are going to happen. Number one, either everything's going to run as normal and we're going to be able to see and we're going to have a fantastic discussion, or we might be going back in time where telecast was an actual thing and we might only have the audio. So I just wanted to prepare you that that's a possibility. But that doesn't matter, because the information, what you're going to get from this, is what is important. So make sure you keep tagging, and let me know if you have any questions. What questions do you have around the marketplace, the stock market, trading, investing? Is investing something that you want to start expanding into now? I know a lot of people in the Real Life Tribe, you're already going to be on your way or already succeeding in property investing, but is investing in other areas the new era of cryptocurrency? Do you have any questions around that? And are you looking to invest? Are you not sure? Is it too much? Is it sending you all a little bit crazy? Let me know. And especially if you have any questions, also let me know that, because this is your time right now to be on it. By the way, if you're watching this on the replay, put hashtag replay, so then I know if you're asking any questions or you've got any interaction or something that you want to know, that I know you've watched it on the replay, so we couldn't answer it here, so we can put something together, or we can reply to you or get in touch with you, or maybe even create a whole different video, or invite you to some other time where we're doing some training, because I think that's very important. What's important is not just to be able to say, hey, so this is what's going on in the marketplace, these are my options, but it is also to get the right training. It is also to be in the right crowds, the right environment, the right group of people that you can leverage their ideas, their experience, their time, and also, as you know, especially in property, their money too. Yeah, so this is super, super important. So you need to tag people. You need to share this on your timeline as well. So if you guys are sharing this on your timeline right now, also share it into the groups that you know that are going to say, hey, yeah, I like the option to see whether I want to receive some value tonight or not. So let's do that right now. And you let me know when it's done so we can give you a shout out. Because I'm telling you something. If you want to know firsthand what's going on, or what is it that you need to do? What is it that you need to do in this time where things might be perceived from a few people or a lot of people a little bit crazy? Yeah, I don't know. Are you one of those people being a little bit crazy right now? Is the whole lockdown saying you're a little bit crazy? Are you super excited that you can actually leave your home now for more than 1 hour? Is this true? Yeah, you are okay. Good, excellent. There's plenty of people on here, and there's plenty of people who are interested in what is this up and coming market collapse of 2020. Yeah, what is it all about, and what do we have to do to prepare or be on the right side of this? We discussed in many trainings and many videos that we've done before that whether the economy is going up or it's going down, the only thing that matters is your economy, and that you are invested in you for your knowledge, your time, your energy, so you can do the right thing for the right reason, because that's the only way you're going to discover your true potential. So awesome. Good, good, good. So it gives me great pleasure to introduce someone. I'm there. 2017 was the first time. And he has had an extraordinary success in trading and investing. He is a world-class trainer, travels all over the world, obviously not that for the last couple of months, all over the world, helping people to develop themselves and ultimately become financially free. One of the ways that he has done this for himself and many, many other people is through trading and investing. So I am hoping that you guys will be able to see our guest tonight, Marcus Di Maria. So, welcome to the show, sir.
Yes, I'm really happy you got it going. I was, although I could have finished off my my fish pie.
Yeah. So let me know if you can see Marcus, because first of all, let me know if you can see Marcus, but can you hear him as well? Because this is.
Can you hear me, everybody? Or if you can see me, just write C. And if you can hear me, well, honestly.
Yeah. So, hey, I mean, we have sound here. We have sound. So I believe this is good enough. But I need to know that you guys watching right now, do you have sound? Because you need to let me know. You can't see him. Oh, Marcus. You know, they really was excited to see your lockdown hairstyle.
I do need a haircut for sure. Yours is looking very suspiciously good, I have to say. Very suspiciously good.
Well, you know, this bit hasn't been cut on this top, but I had to say I had to get rid of these because the Elvis Presley sideburns were coming, but also it's a bit like a microphone, you know?
Yeah, I've got the Elvis Presley sideburns, so I'm really glad. Honestly, guys, I'm not trying to hide. It's funny because I can see myself. I can see Mark, I can see myself, I can see all of your comments. But anyway, so okay, it's going to be what did you call it? A telecast or whatever, or an audio cast, or?
Well, I'm not quite sure what it is now, but like, yeah, I mean, this isn't. There's no video, but that's not important. What's important is that we have you here, Marcus, and we're going to have a great discussion around what's going on in the marketplace, what's happened, what's changing, what's going to be new, and what do we have to be prepared for, because I know that you are a man that is paying close attention to what is going on in the marketplace. So I mean, first of all, just give us a little bit of insight. What, from your perspective, what has been happening and what's happening right now to do with stocks, the stock market? Everyone's saying like the stock market has dropped, it's crashed, we're going to go through the biggest recession. I mean, what is your opinion on all of this?
All right, so all right, great. So we're going to talk maybe a little bit about stocks and shares first, maybe even if you want to, a little bit about cryptocurrencies, because a lot of people believe that that is the future of financial markets. But let's start with the stock market. So obviously what happened, I think everybody knows that the stock market absolutely tanked. I mean, it was the biggest crash since, I don't know, the late 20s. It went down so fast, it was quite incredible. And it went down something like 36%. In just, you know, no time at all. And it was incredible because what then happened is what usually happens with markets. As they have these wild mood swings, it goes down too much, too fast, you get then what's called a snapback, right? And then it just started going back up again. And it was like, what the hell is going on here? Now, you've got to remember, Mark, and you know this, is basically that, you know, I'm just reading some of the comments. I'm not used to comments, but they're really funny. Crypto nonsense, new pyramid. It's interesting. It's really interesting. So cool. So we're going to discuss all of that. That's really cool. You know, when the snapback, you know, came, and then people were like, well, it's all going to be okay again, and then they get back in. But what a lot of people did, of course, is they had a knee-jerk reaction, and they sold probably near the bottom. Right, I mean, let's face it, that's what a lot of people probably did as they was going down. They were waiting, and then, okay, I can't stand the pain anymore. And then they sold and sold and sold. And the problem is they probably sold at the point of most financial potential, which is at the bottom when everybody should have been coming in. That's probably when they sold and were too scared to go in. Now, what I think has happened is that a lot of institutions have gotten in, driven the price back up, lulling people like you and me, well, maybe not you and me and not your guests because they're listening here, but everybody else, into a false sense of security that everything is going to go back up again, and they're starting to invest again now. And so what I think is going to happen is the next leg is going to be down. And why is that? Well, you just need to, like Tony says, as you know, he says, go into your logical corner, right? And your logical corner is just looking around and looking at all the shops that have been closed for weeks on end, which means that they're not making any money. People have been furloughed. They're the lucky ones. A lot of people have lost their jobs. And what that basically means is that when the next earning announcements come out, they are going to be pretty damn bad. They're going to be bad. And nobody knows just how bad they're actually going to be yet, but we will soon see. And then the market is going to react. You know, the market is going to react, and then we will see. Now, a lot of people, of course, what they're doing is they're using strategies to kind of go in as it's coming down, and they're doing a kind of dollar cost averaging. Have you heard about that? Pound cost averaging, dollar cost? I know you have, Mark.
Yeah, so a bit basically what you're saying here is what's happened over this time of lockdown, coronavirus, pandemic, whatever anybody wants to call it, is that a lot of people just reacted out of like fear. Are you saying because of the drop, they just was like, I'm going to cut my losses? Is that what you're seeing happen?
Yeah, I think, yeah, because what the market does, it's all about expectations. And so if they are expecting it to be low, that's fine. But if it then becomes even lower amounts of profits and revenue coming in than expectation, then they're going to really come down a lot further. But this is the funny thing about markets. Let's say it's really bad, but the expectation was worse. If it wasn't quite as bad as the expectation of the analysts, then what's going to happen is the market might even go up. Plus, you also have this really weird situation where we're no longer a capitalist society. Do you think we're a capitalist society? Because we're not. What we are is socio-capitalistic. In other words, we're capitalistic when it suits us, but then suddenly we say, yeah, but, you know, we're going to save everybody. Which, by the way, I'm whatever, because when markets go down, I sell short. When they go up, I buy. So it doesn't really matter for me. But I'm just saying that don't pretend to be capitalist if actually you're not going to let anybody fail. And so the signal that happens is it doesn't matter what you do, the government will always bail us out. That's a really dangerous thing to a signal to give, because it basically means that any shenanigans, think about it, what happened in 2008. In 2008, it became very clear in the financial crisis that not only did the few control the many, but also that they didn't care a toss about the many. And when they all were supposed to go bankrupt, they were all bailed out. And who actually paid for that? You and me and the taxpayers. And they said, well, we are going to do whatever it takes. This time round, they said, we'll do whatever it takes to prop up the market. And so they've said it again, we will do whatever it takes. In other words, you can do what you want if you're a big enough institution, that is, not you and me. If you're, we will go into the ground. They don't, that's, but if you're a big enough institution, you can do what you want and we will save you. That's basically the message. So it's just going to get worse and worse and worse,
Yeah, so what is it that people have got to look out for? Because, well, like you've just said, they're doing whatever it takes to prop up and bail out large corporations, but it looks like small businesses, people who want to enter in or have just entered into entrepreneurship and they want to create their own business because they want to either create a lifestyle or they're just fed up of listening to a boss or something like that. It looks like these people are being wiped out, or these people are being given rules to abide by to not allow them to flourish. So what is it that we've got to keep our eye on, and what is it we've got to look out for?
Well, I mean, it's really what your subscribers are doing, which is educating themselves. I mean, that's the bottom line. I mean, I'm sure everyone's sick and tired of hearing it, but it just is educate yourself on what needs to happen. So, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion. Look, I'm just going to tell you what I'm doing, okay? So, whatever you guys decide to do. But what I'm doing is I'm getting increasingly building up my positions in gold and silver. And the reason I like gold and silver, and I actually prefer silver. Everybody loves gold, right? But I prefer silver because when gold goes up a little bit, silver is like on a kind of elastic band, so it goes up even more, right? And if gold comes down, then silver goes down even more. So I like that volatility. Now, a lot of people don't like that volatility, but I love that volatility because I like to buy really low and I like to sell really, really high. So I like that. So gold and silver. And we can go a little bit more into what does that look like? Is that physical gold and silver, or is that ETFs, exchange traded funds of gold and silver? Is it miners? Is it junior miners? What is it? But basically looking more into the gold and silver arena. That's one thing. Mm-hmm. And then the other thing, I've got two more things. One other thing is reverse ETFs. So an ETF is an exchange traded fund. Think of it like a fund that's already made for you, like a basket of shares, and it's not actively managed, so you don't pay massive management fees. You pay maybe 0.5% a year as opposed to 3, 4, or 5%. But you can have an exchange-traded fund done for you of the FTSE 100, an exchange-traded fund of oil, an exchange-traded fund of gold or silver or whatever you want, copper, anything. There is an exchange-traded fund for that. And that is something that we're heavily investing into because it's not made up of individual shares, one company. Because one company could go to zero. I don't want to invest in anything that can go to zero. I want to invest in a basket of several shares, because, one or two of them might not work out, but a lot of them will, and therefore, kind of counterbalances, and therefore they stay quite steady. And then if you do that, let's say in gold and silver, etc., that's even better. But a reverse ETF means that when you buy the reverse ETF and the markets go down, your position in the reverse ETF actually goes up. So you don't have to short the market, which a lot of people don't understand, selling short, how do you sell something at the top and buy back at the bottom? That's like, what does that mean? How do you do it, etc.?
That's what I was going to ask you, Marcus, because a lot of people, you might talk about investing and in stocks and gold and silver, but if there is going to be a crash, most people's, because I know this was when I first looked at it, I was like, yeah, but if market's going, you got to wait for the market to go up before you can make money. So what is really the simple explanation of how people are able to make money and increase their value, whether the market is going up or down? What is a simple explanation?
Whether the market goes up or down, that's to become a trader. The simple explanation is not to do what everybody does, which is to buy and hold, right? So it's to become a trader and to learn how to make money as it goes up, but then quickly change your mind and make money going down. I'll give you a couple of examples. So we're long on Bitcoin, long term. I don't know how long it's going to take. But in the short term, we're selling it short. And people go, hold on a moment, you have a position, you're buying Bitcoin, you have a position, but in the short term, you're actually making money going down. Like, well, I don't get it. So, well, why not? Things go up and down. And as they go up long term, they go up, down, even more down, up, even more, and down. So you can make money in all market directions. And all it takes is 20 minutes a day. People think you need to be a full-time trader or something. You don't. You just need to learn what to do. I mean, you know this. You've done it.
Yeah, so, but that was my next question because, for especially a beginner who's like, oh, stock market, trading, ETF, what is this? Up, down, but what? Shorting the market, long in the, for these people who might think, oh wow, I've got to spend hours figuring this stuff out. I've got to then understand all the terminology. I've got to sit at my laptop for 8, 9, 10 hours a day because I can't miss anything because I've seen either a film or TV program. What's an explanation you could give people? Because people, look, I travel all over the world. I'm training people as well. Sometimes when you tell people, you can say, hey, 20 minutes a day, you apply it onto this. How can you back that up to say, how can people get results?
So I'll give you a really simple strategy. So everybody just do your best just to write this strategy down, okay? So what we do, and by the way, my students, they are in profit, even though there was this big market crash. And the reason is because we have a strategy called the VCA strategy. It's called value cost averaging. And I can see you smiling here because I know you know the strategy, right? So we basically wait for the market to fall a certain percentage, for example, 20%. So we never get in at the top. We wait for that to happen, or an individual stock or an ETF or gold or silver or whatever to drop, right? Then we get in the first time. then the next time we get in, we only get in if it drops again by another 10%. Okay, so but here's the difference, because you could say, well, isn't that a little bit like pound cost averaging? You kind of go in every single month, and sometimes it's up, sometimes it's down, sometimes it's in the middle, and then you get an average price if you sometimes invest up, sometimes down, sometimes in the middle. What we do is we only invest if the price goes lower. Now think about that for a moment. If you only invest if the price goes lower, one of two things is going to happen. It's either going to go back up, in which case you're in profit, or it's going to continue going down, in which case you buy more, and I know that sounds crazy, right? But then you lower your average price, okay? And the further down it goes, the lower your average price goes. Now, here's the distinction, though. I've got two distinctions, and this is what most people don't think about. We only invest in something that can't go to zero, right? So my question to you is, can gold go to zero?
No.
Okay. Can silver go to zero?
No.
Can copper go to zero?
No.
Okay. So can the FTSE go to zero? It's made up of 100 of the best companies in the UK. Can it go to zero?
No.
Probably not, right?
No, I don't think we're going to be worrying.
Yes, that is very true. We'll have other things to worry about if that happens.
Yeah.
And the S&P 500, you can buy into an ETF of the S&P 500, which means that you are exposed to 500 different of the biggest stocks in America. Is that likely to go to zero? The answer is no. So all you need to do is just buy into it as it falls, and every time it falls, you thank whoever, Father Christmas, for Christmas coming in early. You go, thank you so much. Well, everybody is panicking. I tell you, everybody was panicking. Sell, 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 sell. What were my students doing? Buy, buy, buy. But not irrationally, not knee-jerk reaction, no emotion, according to a strategy with predefined rules. Simple. And that's how you do it. 20 minutes a day. That's it. Boom.
Yeah.
I just dropped the microphone.
No, we can't see you, but that would have been cool. Yeah, so I like that one because not only, I mean, that doesn't take 20 minutes a day.
No, I know it doesn't.
Oh, it takes like 15 minutes a month.
You can do it on a monthly basis, but this one here, actually, you put an alert in with a broker when it falls, and then they send you an email. So it might not even be 20 minutes a month.
Yeah. So
you can semi-automate it.
Yeah. So here's the thing, because look, the reason we're on here and we want to give people this insight, so either they can go ahead do their research, or there's a link in here as well with some additional training, by the way, for free, where you'll actually be able to see Marcus. You'll be able to see him. There is a training that you can register for, so make sure you click that link and you do that. But it's to give you the insight, so either go figure it out, go research it, or start following some of these very simple strategies. Now, for the people who are in our real life tribe, you understand we're just taking one step at a time, and we're increasing our value, we're increasing our portfolio, we're raising millions and millions of pounds in investor finance, we're buying properties with zero of our own money. So look, if you're looking to expand your financial strength, your financial stability, right now is a great time to add an additional leg to your financial table. Yeah, it's important to do so, but also you got to realize it's one step. You got to take one step at a time. First of all, you showed up to here. That was a good step. Second step, show up on this training. It's on Thursday at 7, I believe, this Thursday. So look, there's no messing around. There is opportunity everywhere, and you've got to put yourself in a position to seize that opportunity, to get on top of this, to learn some very simple strategies. Because like you say, you can't just make a rational trade. I mean, there's a funny story, right? Just very quickly, because you asked me about this one time. He was like, how is your trading going? And I was following the system, and I was following the rules. I was spending 20 minutes a day figuring it out. In the beginning, it took me a little bit longer, but then it was really quick, and I was able to, understand and analyze and either say I'm going to get in or get out of trades within 20 minutes across probably 5-6 different trades a day. That's how quickly, you know, it becomes once you get into a little bit of rhythm. But then I started using this thing, what you just called, which was emotion. You're getting excited, you know, because some people, they panic, right? You know, and the people who are panicking, they're selling. Well, for me, it was the other way around. I'm getting excited. I'm like, I'm making money here. Like, I want to do this quick. I mean, this is working, right? So then, like 3 months of profit through my excitement, I was like, yeah, you know, I don't need to follow this risk management. Yeah, it's okay. I want to grow it a little bit quicker, so I'm going to just bend the rules a little bit. You know, it's not going to cause any harm. And 3 months of profit was literally just wiped out within like a week or two.
You've got to follow the rules.
Got to follow the rules. But it does come down to these strategies. And before, by the way, you know, I was trained by you, and before you showed me these strategies, I was doing it by myself, and it took me 6 months to figure it out. Yeah, just on how, like, I mean, what is this? You know, getting in, getting out. What is the pip movement? What is all of this? And during that time, I kind of broke even. I'd say losing 500 quid was breaking even. I'm just trying to be trying to be kind to myself.
Okay.
Yeah, but that was 6 months. But then, you know, in 2 days, in like 2 weeks of following a system. By the way, I had no risk management. I didn't have a clue about risk management. That was my point. That was the point.
Most people don't. They have absolutely no clue about risk management, and they want to make money fast.
Yeah.
And it's the worst thing. I mean, and then put that into a little pot with emotions, and most people who want to be traders, they lose 90% of their money in the first 90 days.
Wow.
Because they have no strategy at all, and they think they're just going to give it a go. You know, chuck some money and let's see what happens. What kind of a strategy is that, honestly? And it's so simple, but people don't realize, because, you know,
yeah,
it's so simple. It's so simple. You've got to follow the recipe, that's all.
It is so simple. And something super interesting as well is that there's this whole thing about cryptocurrency. Now, what is your, you know, because there is so much in the market, and usually it's a lot of people who have nothing to do with either having a go at it or investing, or like you say, they went in with no strategy, no risk management, you know, lost a lot of money, don't have a clue what they're doing, or whatever it is. But what's your explanation for helping people understand, like, what is cryptocurrency, what is the future, what is blockchain, like in some simple terms that we can all understand?
Okay, and all right, let's do that in as simple terms as I can. Now, cryptocurrencies is a new kind of money, and the reason that everybody's jumping on board, including the institutions, by the way, even if some of them are pretending not to. Some of them have stopped pretending now, and have actually launched their own blockchain, which is hilarious. But is basically a way in order not to have somebody in the middle. So if I'm sending you money, Mark, there has to be somebody in the middle. It's a centralized system, and it's normally a bank or a credit card or something that has to say, if I send you £10, then it's minus £10 from my account, right? And plus £10 to your account. That's like a big spreadsheet, or what they call a ledger in accounting terms, right? Minus 10 plus 10, and that adds up. Fine. But we realized in 2008, and this is why Satoshi Nakamoto wrote his white paper on Bitcoin, was, like I said, is that, you know, the elites are trying to rule the many. And he said this just cannot be the case. So he created a new financial system based on the blockchain. And the first blockchain, 1.0, was called Bitcoin. And what it allowed you to do was to send, whether it was 2 pence worth of Bitcoin or, you know, 20 million worth of Bitcoin, send it to you, as long as you've got a Bitcoin wallet, from my Bitcoin wallet, electronic wallet, to your Bitcoin wallet. I can send it to you, not in 3 to 5 days, as the banks say. I can send it to you in 3 to 5 minutes. And not only that, it doesn't matter what country you're in, right? It just doesn't matter what country you're in. There are no other banks involved or anything like that. There's no, you know, currency exchange, which is going to cost me a load of money. Do you know, I think it was 20 million. They did it in 10 minutes, and it cost £10. Do you know how much that would have cost? If I would have converted 20 million, forget about the transfer fees, just the foreign exchange fees. If I would have transferred 20 million to somebody in another country, that would have cost me probably about 100 grand. Did it in £10. Now, if you have a system, as long as it's trustworthy and it is faster and cheaper, do you think people will at least look at it? Yes or no?
Well, obviously you're going to look at it. So do you think this is the future?
I do. It is the future, but the challenge is that a lot of the incumbents, the JP Morgans, the Goldman Sachs of this world, who, by the way, have all launched a blockchain product and are all now selling Bitcoin to their people, even though they swore that they wouldn't, if they were trying to manipulate the market.
How can you explain simply, Marcus, because people have heard of Bitcoin, but they might not understand blockchain. Is there a simple...
Okay, so a blockchain, just imagine that in order for there not to be somebody in the middle, i.e. the banks, that can inflate, deflate, confiscate, they can do what they want basically. Instead of them, you take them out, okay, and what you basically have is you have hundreds of thousands, not one centralized, but decentralized, hundreds of thousands of computers all around the world that are maintaining this blockchain. Think about blockchain as being one big, massive Excel sheet in the sky, a massive ledger where all the transactions are put on. It's immutable. You might have heard of that, which means it cannot be hacked. It cannot be confiscated. It can't be inflated, deflated. It can't, and nothing like that. Where every single transaction is out there, but it's not one person maintaining, it's hundreds of thousands. So if one person decides to be, a bad sport, and start manipulating, it doesn't matter because the 51% rule, if 51% of them say, no, the majority are saying it's this, then they ignore that bad player and they carry on with what the 51% are saying. So the majority always rule. And by the way, just in case you were interested, did you know that there used to be 3 computers in an aeroplane? Because one could crash, the whole plane would go down. 2 could crash, but the likelihood of 3 crashing was so unlikely, and that's the idea behind it. The majority say, well, that isn't right, so therefore we agree with the majority. And they're the ones that are maintaining the whole blockchain. All it is little blocks of work, and then it gets cut off, put into place, and then on top of it comes the next block of work, and it's cut off, and then the next block of work. So it's just building a kind of an online kind of spreadsheet in the sky. That's really what the blockchain actually is.
Awesome. So you say this is the future, but there is the future of what? Is it the future of how people are just going to operate our everyday spending and buying and an exchange of value?
Okay, so I think it's quite important for the people that want to know more that they join us on Thursday, because I'm going to give you some examples and I'm going to show you visuals so you really understand it. But let me just try and do it here like this as well. So the blockchain is used for many, many things. So for example, how do you know that the food that you're eating, where it really came from? Well, because somebody in the middle called Tesco's or whatever, they tell you that it is this. But how can you trust them? They're a profit-making enterprise. So let's decentralize the whole thing, and you can track the whole thing from where the cow was born, how long it lived, how it was transported, where it was transported, where it was kept. How do you know this piece of meat wasn't frozen? And how come it's 2.5 years old? I thought this was fresh. All of this information might be missing. It's all on the blockchain. That's one example. Another one is a smart contract. I don't know whether you've heard that, but Ethereum, which is blockchain 2.0, so it's like an upgrade, if you like. It's like a better blockchain. It has much higher transaction speeds, but it also has something called a smart contract. So a smart contract is anything that doesn't need somebody in the middle. It's all about replacing the need of somebody in the middle. Decentralized. It's all about decentralized, right? So, for example, let's say like a vending machine. You don't need anybody in the middle saying, are you Marcus? Is this real money? And is that really the Coca-Cola bottle? You put the money in, you do 1Z, and the Coca-Cola bottle comes out. It's a transaction. It's a smart contract. So if a plane is cancelled, have you ever had a plane cancelled? Has anybody ever had a plane cancelled?
Few times.
If they have, it's very black and white, isn't it? I want that Coca-Cola thing. Here's my 50p. Now out comes the Coca-Cola, right? So if your plane is cancelled, why is it when I was on EasyJet, they said, right, come with me. Half the people didn't. They then went to a desk and they said, like, over there, if anybody wants them, those are the forms to fill out. Anyway, and so half the people didn't listen to that either. Half the people then maybe lost the form. Half the people probably didn't send it in. Half of those people, you know, and it's less and less people every single time. This is rubbish. As soon as the plane is cancelled, it's a smart contract. It's cancelled, yes or no? Well, yeah. It's not black and white. Was it cancelled? Oh, I don't know. Was it cancelled? It was cancelled. 10 seconds later, I should have my money back in my bank account, yes or no? There should be no dispute over this. My plane was cancelled. I gave you money. You cancelled it. They can say, yeah, but it wasn't our fault. Well, it definitely wasn't my fault.
So this is what's going to happen, and it's going to become a way of, like you say, transferring money to each other. It's going to be a lot better. There's a lot more transparency.
Transferring money. You will be your own bank. You don't need a bank. You don't need a bank. I mean, you will be your own bank.
I mean, is that good? Is there people watching? Do you want to be your own bank? I mean, put it in the comments right now, wherever you're watching this, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. Like, do you want to be your own bank? And what does this even mean? Obviously, we're going to do something. Marcus is going to take you through on Thursday, 7 o'clock. Click this link here. It's in this comments. Click the link. Get yourself registered. It's a totally free training. And I've been in many trainings with Marcus in many different arenas. And he does, as you can see so far, I mean, he obviously knows this stuff. And I know just in cryptos alone, Marcus, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if these figures have changed or been updated at some point. But like, wasn't it about $800 or $900 that you turned into what, over £90,000? No.
Yeah, so it was still in dollars, unfortunately, but it was $850 into $90,000, and we did that in about 9 months. And I've never seen anything like it. You know, on Thursday I'll show everybody my account. And you will see the percentage gains. They're insane. You never see anything like it. You know, like 10,000%, and then the position below 7,000%, the position below 5,000, then 4,000, then 3,000. You know, you might, like in a normal stock account, you might have, I don't know, 30%. You know, that would be amazing, right? 10,000%. Like, where do you, like, I've never seen anything like it. And don't forget, I've been trading and investing for over 20 years. So I've never seen anything like it. That's why I jumped into cryptos, because there is so much money to be made. In fact, I'm going to show you the 5 ways that we are making money. I'll tell you what they are quickly, actually. One of them is staking. It's like getting dividends. You know, you just point the coin in the right direction, and then you just get 3 to 6% a year, which might not be interesting for many of your people, but it's still, diversifying a little bit. Then there's obviously investing. Then there is trading. And in the last 12 months, we're up 139% on that. So that's really good. Then there's buying into pre-cryptocurrencies called ICOs, or initial coin offerings. So you can get in at a discount, like 50% or 70% before anybody else gets in, if you're in the know, and I'm in the know, right? And then there is, the last one is just public companies on the stock market that are taking advantage of cryptocurrencies. So for example, Facebook said, I'm going to launch my own currency, right? And I'm going to call it Libra. And everybody went crazy because they hauled Mark Zuckerberg in front of Congress and said, what the hell do you think you're doing, mate? This, because they're really scared that one of these digital currencies is going to take over instead of the dollar. And so they're trying to stop him, but they can't stop him. But by the way, that is not a cryptocurrency. By the way, how many of your readers have heard of this Libra coin?
Let's ask them.
Facebook,
put it in the comments. Have you heard of this? But also, so like, okay, so this is what's happening. We're going to train on Thursday. That you're going to be. That sounds awesome to me. I mean, if I was brand new, I mean, I trust you. I know you. You know, I've used your strategies for a couple of years. I know they work. I'm making money. My investment account is always growing. So that's probably different for me. But for the people, I mean, if I was starting out and someone said, I'm going to log into my account and show you, then, which I know you actually did in the beginning, to be fair. But it just makes me believe, like, this is someone who's actually in the game, playing the game, not just heard about it and then wants to, tell you about it. This is someone who's been in the game a long time. And for someone who says is going to do that and actually show me these websites, which is your wallets and your logins and all of this stuff, which might be a little bit of new terminology for some people, but again, if especially people in the real life tribe, anyone who's been on any training with me before, as part of the tribe, Marcus, these guys, any of these guys will show up to this. I mean, you guys need to register right now. Like just register on a different device while you're still listening to this priceless information. Get yourself registered. Make sure that you can be there and have the details, and make sure you don't miss out on this opportunity, because it's absolutely key. This is it fair to say, Marcus? This is like if we could go back in time at the start before the internet boom. Is there a comparison? Like if people were just like, oh, internet, what do you mean? What do you mean you're going to go to broadcast?
Actually, it's funny you should say that, right? I don't know if you've got some inside knowledge or something, but it's exactly the same. This is like back in the 90s, like around 93, 94, when the internet was like, and it took about, some people don't know what the hell I'm talking about here, but it took about 30 seconds for a page to load. Now think about this. 1, 2, 3. And if it had any kind of a picture on it, it might take 2 or 3 minutes to load, right? And everybody said this is never going to catch on. And all the institutions told their clients, do not touch internet stocks. Now, Mark, what do you think the institutions were doing while they were telling their clients not to invest in internet stocks? Guess what they were doing?
As a guess, were they forming a strategy to invest?
They were buying like crazy, and that then engendered the biggest and steepest bull market in the history of modern bull markets, which culminated from 94, 95, all the way to 2000, March 2000, in the dot-com bubble. They made an absolute fortune while they were telling all their clients not to invest, which is just bloody typical, isn't it? Now, here's the thing though. That's the analogy, and that's what's happening right now. But here's the difference. For the very first time in the history of finance, we, you, me, and everybody on this call can get in before the big institutions come in. We can actually get in before Wall Street. And this has never happened before, because normally Wall Street gets in first, right? They take a big chunk out, they chuck us a couple of bones, and then give us a quick slap around the face. That's basically it. We get the dregs, right? For the very first time, we are able to get in before them. Why? For one reason, and that is called custody. What most people don't know is that when big institutions buy something, they are not allowed to hold it as well. They have to give it to a custodian bank to hold. In the crypto world, custodian banks weren't yet in existence, because it's a whole new digital world, until this year. And now, slowly but surely, and you can see on the futures and everything, people are starting to get in more and more into Bitcoin, especially Bitcoin. But there is, what I'm actually looking for, Mark, just so you know, I'm not looking to get into Bitcoin. I'm looking for the next Bitcoin, because Bitcoin's already gone up 9 million%. I am looking for the next Bitcoin, right? So in 2017, there was a little coin called Verge. If you were to put £100 in, at the end of the year, that £100 would be worth 1 million. That's what I'm looking for. Now,
how many?
I said £100. Did I say like put 20 grand in or 100 grand? I didn't say it. I just 100.
Yeah, that's it. I get it. So just how many coins are you invested in currently?
Oh my goodness, way too many actually. Because it's so at the beginning, I don't know which one's going to go up, but I've got something like 160 different positions currently.
160.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And on Thursday,
yes.
What can people expect? Like, I mean, people need to be there. If you're not registered yet already, you need to do that. Not only do you need to register.
Not only do you need to be there, you need to be there with your entire family, because they'll latch onto this.
Yeah.
They'll latch onto it. They'll just go, yep, that makes total sense. Anybody around the 30 and below, they just see it. They just see it like that. If you look, I want you to imagine, I wish you could see me. I'm going to do this on Thursday. I have to remember to do it, right? You remember when your grandparents were first asked to use this plastic card called a credit card? They went insane. They said, I'm not using that. I'm using this, mate. I'm using this this thing here, And now everyone's using it. It's exactly the same. Do you remember when there was self-service at Tesco's? I was like, I want to be served by a human being. I'm not now. I'm the first. Like, get out of my way. I can do it faster myself. You can't stop technology when it's faster and cheaper. You just can't, because when your competitors do it, then they'll take a market share. So you have to come on board.
Yeah.
They're all jumping on board, all of them.
Absolutely. So we just got a few minutes left here, but we want to give people as many nuggets as possible, because Real Life Tribe members, you got your mastermind after this 8 o'clock. So don't forget, the details will be in your email.
Mastermind is cool.
Oh,
very good.
Totally cool. So normally, Marcus, what we do is, if we have a super special guest on, someone like you, is we would invite them in there so that people can ask, behind the door questions and, really get into the nitty gritty. But rather than do that, this time we're going to dedicate, a whole training session on Thursday, where you're going to deliver that. So these guys get to keep their mastermind, talk about property or personal development, whatever it is they need. So,
what I'm going to share on Thursday, you asked me what I'm going to share, but I'd rather ask some questions, so I'll do this very, very quickly. Is basically, how we're making money right now. What are the 5 different ways? Most people don't even know there's a way, let alone 5 different ways. And also, how to keep it all safe. How do you do that? How do you keep it safe? What do you have to do? What's a wallet? What's an online wallet? How do you keep it safe? Because really, in reality, once you buy Bitcoin, you should take it off the exchange. You should put it on what's called a hard wallet. You should just take it off the system. Like the Matrix. The Matrix with Neo, and actually there is a coin called Neo. Actually, that's where I made my most money. That wasn't anyway.
So what you're saying is we're putting our money on a USB stick. That's what I call it.
Yeah, kind of.
It's kind of a USB stick, right? But with some funky passwords on it, so nobody can take it.
You know what? I should explain it like that. It's a USB stick with some funky passwords. That's it. That's cryptos. Boom. Done.
There you go.
There's so much money to be made. There really is. I mean, you can be a pretty inactive investor, but I'd encourage you to take advantage of this opportunity. They say that it's the biggest transfer of wealth, which is just about to happen. Because if you think about it, you can be your own bank. You don't need anybody in the middle. You can just hold all your money on your USB stick with a funky password, right? If that's the case, you know what that means, right? That means that 3 to 4, listen to this, billion people who don't have access to banking suddenly have access to their own bank. It's going to revolutionize the way things are. And now I'm going to say something about properties. And I'm going to talk about this things. I don't want to spoil it too much. I just shouldn't tell you now. I should wait.
But here's the thing as well. Because I get the whole, there's stocks and there's currency trading, there's cryptocurrency and there's property and there's all of online market. There's all these different ways. But creating a business, all of these different ways. And it's like, if you want to be stable, if you want to, diversify is probably overused, but also misunderstood. What does diversify even mean? But if we just get to the crux of it, it's like, if you have a table and you just got one leg on the table, that is not going to be very stable, is it? These different pillars of wealth, which I got from you, you told me about this, the different pillars of wealth that you got to have a strong table. Property is definitely one. And as long as people need a place to live, which for the foreseeable future, I think that is the case, then it's going to be a good investment. They've
got to self-isolate somewhere.
Exactly. I mean, who knows how long this could keep coming back for. But also trading, investing, all the benefits from, we've been saying, Marcus has been saying, this is the next internet, except we have the internet to distribute this information, which we didn't have in the first place, which is why no one was able to get this information. So now we have an awesome tool to spread this information super quick, so we can get tooled up and ready to take advantage of this situation. So make sure that you register, clicking on this link that's in the comments. I'm going to put it in there for you again. If you like Marcus, which in the comments it seems like they like you, Marcus, which is the same wherever we go.
Can they see me, by the way?
No. Well, maybe that might be different if they could see you then. But
I was about to say that's probably where they like me.
So it looks. If you like this and you really want to go into some depth, you want to be entertained and educate yourself at the same time, register on this link. Don't just turn up with your family, like Marcus said. Get this delivered out to everybody. Share this on out on your profile. Just say, hey, I'm showing up to this. Anybody wants to come along, feel free, and just invite people. This is the era of being able to connect. Facebook.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Can I tell you a very quick story? I'm just keeping an eye on your tiny mastermind, which is awesome. But so my general manager, John, okay, he is the most, like he said, oh, what is this crypto thing? What is this Bitcoin? I don't understand it. I need real stuff. And I get that. So anyway, I told him about it, blah, blah, blah. And then he said, all right, well, I might invest something. Whatever, £100 or whatever, okay? Shook his hand on it just to close the deal on it. And then like 2 weeks later, he still hadn't invested. Then it went down from 6,000 to about 3,000 or something, right? Totally like 50%, which by the way is normal. It's totally normal. It goes up and down. It's brilliant. It's absolutely fantastic. And then I said to him, oh my goodness, you if you haven't invested, you need to invest now. He goes, no, because it's gone down. I went, yes, so it's cheaper. He goes, yeah, but it's going down. I said, yes, so it's cheaper. Get in. He goes, no. I'm not going to get in because it's going down. Do you see? And that's what people do. It's the other way around. When it goes down, that's when you get in. Anyway, he finally got in. Okay, finally got in. He made 97% on his first trade. Couldn't believe it. Now he's raving to everybody about it. He's like, crazy. He just talks to everybody. Then it went down again. Okay, he got in again. He made 103% the second time around. This is a guy who would never, ever, and he goes, yeah, you got to get in, That's so fun. Yeah, big story.
So this is the story of many people's lives. So this is the opportunity for you to come and see for yourself on Thursday, 7 o'clock. It's going to be very interesting, very entertaining, but also very informative. And you're going to learn some awesome strategies. And what is it that you've got to do? You've got to come and invest some time, some energy into this. Because that's the way it works. You put something in, you get something out. But you don't want to be doing what my parents did, and probably most of your parents, where they were just putting in manual labor work. And there's nothing wrong with that, by the way. There's nothing wrong getting hands dirty. But if you're going to live your life that way, then you're probably going to do that and not get a lot of time to do the things you really want to do. So if you want to carry on this change, because it's already happening. I mean, you guys are already bought into it, most of you people watching this, but if you're not in the Real Life Tribe, click this link, get registered for this training. We're going to see you there. I'm excited. Thank you so much for being on here, Marcus. I mean, the guys have got 1 minute. We don't even left them a break. There's no toilet break. You've got to go straight onto your mastermind and continue receiving the value. So if you just wait there, Marcus, I'm going to see you afterwards, but we're going to end all this now because that's what we've got time for today. Thank you so much for joining us on this channel. Don't forget to subscribe to Real Life Group on YouTube channel. Bring all your friends, all your family, and get registered for this. Trisha has just put the link in again to make sure that you have got that. Give it up.
Masteringcryptos.com. Thanks, Mark. Thanks, everybody. Thank you.
Excellent. And do
Thursday.
not ever forget that you got to do the right thing for the right reason, because that is the only way you're going to discover your true potential.